Hello and welcome to the West Yorkshire Football Show, Huddersfield Town special with myself, Stephen Downs, and my co-host once again and as ever is Mr. Callum Scott. How are you, Cal?
I'm not so bad, mate. How are you?
Oh, well, we're both smiling, mate, so it must have gone really well last night because otherwise we wouldn't be smiling at all, would we? Yeah, obviously, let's get straight into it. Huddersfield Town were defeated 4-1. Yes, 4-1 by Preston North End. If you are watching this, please shove a like on the video, give it a share, and also make any comments you want. Be nice. Please be nice, particularly if there's any Leeds fans watching it. Thanks very much. Obviously, there's 6 games tonight in the Championship. And there were 6 games last night, but it's Huddersfield Town that we're going to concentrate on. Like I said, 4-1 defeat to the Lily Whites. Carl, it all started great in the first half.
Yeah, promising, wasn't it? It was really good. I thought we played some all right football, sort of streaks ahead of what we played against Millwall, actually. But against Millwall, we didn't have quite such a catastrophic collapse in the second half and towards the back end of the game. Specifically, I don't know what happened. After the penalty, I think we just went to pieces.
Yeah. So let's roll it back 72 hours. You know, we're all coming in. We thought we could have done a show probably straight after we all got home on the Saturday, before tucking into our curries or Chinese or whatever vegan meals if you're a vegan, to celebrate the fantastic news that Huddersfield Town had got 3 points against one of their relegation rivals in Millwall. Cal, we sat there for 90 minutes at the John Smith Stadium on Saturday, and we thought how terrible it was. It was going to be a point, looked like a point. Reece Healy got the goal. We won the game, and you're thinking, right, let's go into Tuesday now against a Preston side that are, 7 points off the playoffs at that moment in time, 7 points behind Norwich. They're not in the best of form. They're not an amazing team. It's not like we're playing Leicester or Leeds or somebody at the top. So let's go and have a go. Yes, we've got a terrible record at Deepdale, but let's have a go. And probably, like I say, for 45 minutes, that's what we did. But then what happened after 45 minutes? I mean, let's discuss about the penalty, mate, because I think it is a penalty. I know other people don't, but, you can't go and stick your foot out like that if you're Matos, for me.
I actually agree there. I think it is a penalty, but I think something in terms of where we are, you could probably say this about every game in the season, that every team we've come up against has looked a lot more dangerous than us going forward. And I sort of felt like something was coming from Preston because, they're 7th in the table for a reason. Their home form is really good. They weren't just going to sit and allow us to frustrate them like we'd done in the first half. So you sort of felt like something was coming. What I didn't want to happen was what transpired in us effectively handing them a 1-0 lead through a daft challenge, really. I think he comes in the wrong side.
Definitely.
He knows he's not going to get the ball, but he commits to the challenge anyway, brings down the man, and it's a penalty. And for me, it was a penalty. I know people have got different opinions on that, and fair play, but why he's even in the position to make that challenge is confusing to me.
Yeah, I mean, the Preston, if nobody's seen the highlights, basically Preston break the back line and Matos has to go chase back through because, our defenders are about as slow as me. I can't comment on Callum, he might be like Usain Bolt for all I know at running, but no, it's the beard that holds you back, mate, that's why. Give it a quick shave and you'll be there. You'll be knocking 10 seconds off that time. Yeah, Matos chases back, like you said, the wrong side. But to me, Cal, I don't get what goes through a footballer's mind when you think, I'll tell you what, I'm in the box, so I'll stick my foot out. Why don't you just put him under pressure or, I don't know, shout something in his ear or, try and put him off in some sense? Because he might not score. Nichols might save it, but the fact that he's given a penalty away gives Preston, more of a percentage chance to score than what he would if he'd have just tried to put him off.
Yeah, I think that's true, and a lot of it maybe comes down to his inexperience. He's a young footballer, not had that much experience, but still, you're playing in this division for a reason. You should know that's the basics. That's day one stuff.
Yeah,
don't stick your leg out in the penalty box, because teams like that will capitalise on things like that, and that is what happened. As for what happened afterwards, Christ, who'd you point the finger at? There's so many, but I just thought, when you're in the position we are, we can't become the architects of our own downfall because other teams are doing that for us.
Yeah, and what I would say is, right, I don't know before the game what you thought, but to get to detail where we really never win or we come away with very little points, even after the penalty scored. I mean, I was playing football at the time, but I saw it was 1-1, and I was saying to the other lads that I'd be happy with that, 1-1, in the position we are in the league, get a point and then hopefully get a point at Bristol. And I'd take 2 points out of them 2 games, and then you've got the 2 home games that you definitely need to win. And, but then to capitulate like we have, with one player that comes on and changes the entire complexion of the game, the fixture, and he gets a hat-trick in 8 minutes, Cal. 8 minutes. I mean, we're not even talking like a full game. It's literally under 10 minutes, and he's had that impact. I mean, that's astonishing, really. Our defence has capitulated quicker than the Roman Empire did,
You know what, though? It's not like this lad for Preston's like Erling Haaland level, is it?
No.
But I'm sorry for using it. I've just been watching the new City documentary on Netflix.
Is it good?
It is good. Highly recommend.
Is it? All right, Mr. Nagel, you need to get us a documentary going. You did promise.
Christ, I don't want to watch that. Jesus, I'm living through it. I don't need to relive it. But we've made him look better than he is. But for any player to come on, have a 7-8 minute hat trick, that isn't him being brilliant. That's us being awful.
I mean, the goals, Cal, you look back at the highlights, and the goals aren't even that good. I mean, yeah, the third one that he scores to get his hat-trick's a clever finish, but they're just not well defended. I mean, at any point, all the goals can be stopped. The crossing from Holmes, that can be cut out. The first one when he's running through, there's no physicality there. There's no thought to, at that point, try and stop him even when he's running from outside the box. I don't understand the inability to see danger and think, I tell you what, we'll just let him run through and see whether hopefully Lee will make a save or he might miss.
Yeah, this is it though. This is our defensive unit relies on the knowledge, the mistaken knowledge, I might add, that whoever else is going to pick up for the mistakes of another player. It doesn't happen.
No.
You see, a player makes a mistake, they expect Nichols to sweep it up. They expect Pearson to sweep it up, Hellick to sweep it up. When that doesn't happen, we can see goals. And it doesn't happen because as a unit, they are not good enough. As a team, we are not good enough.
No. Thanks very much for your comments. Mark's commented, we have struggled all season for physicality and mental fitness. Most goals conceded in the entire division in the second half of the season. Regular capitulations, 8 games with 4 or more goals against us. Yeah, it's not good. And, to have the most sort of games in the entire season where we've capitulated like that, it does strike to me as a mental thing, Cal. Like Mark says.
I saw a thing from Stephen Chicken earlier. He's done like a league table of where we would be if the game's finished at half-time. We would be 10th in the division. Compare that to where we are now, it's chalk and cheese. So it's definitely a mental thing that we get into the second half and we cannot see out a game. We
Why
cannot
is that
see out
though?
the result.
Why is that?
I think a little bit of that is generally because the negative, and I'm not saying that the fans don't deserve to feel this way because I feel this way. You know, I'm not ashamed or afraid to say that I was one of the ones that was booing against Millwall because
Well, I want to ask you about this, but yeah, go on. Give your reason, and then we'll go into it.
because what we were watching on the pitch was awful. Simple passes, 1 and 2, again and again, and we just give the ball away. And we can't even blame the wind because these were on the deck. You know,
But the wind made a difference, Cal. Do you not know
it did.
that?
I'm not.
And Millwall
didn't.
Millwall didn't have any wind to go against, so you
No.
know.
But I think the reason why we struggle to see out games is generally because of the negative feeling that people have come round to the idea that this team cannot win.
No,
we are not good enough. We have trumpeted the fact that we are not good enough. So now the players think that they are not good enough to see out games. Therefore, they don't.
but you talk about the booing, and that was mentioned after the Millwall game. Obviously, Brian Reiter mentioned it in his post-match. Well, not necessarily after Millwall, but the game before. Sorry, in his post-match press conference, and then again in the pre-match press conference to Millwall. And I don't really understand the boos for Ben Jackson, if there were any. I didn't hear any for Ben Jackson. I think Ben Jackson's an okay fullback. I don't think he's certainly not on Spencer's level by any stretch, but I think he's okay, and I think he tries hard. But he's very inexperienced and hasn't had that leadership alongside him to give him that ability to play at his full potential. That's just my opinion. The boos that I had mostly heard were for Tom Edwards, and mostly I heard them in the Millwall game after he made 2 horrendous passes that I think genuinely a 10-year-old could play. And I'm not being harsh there. You know, he had such a bad performance against Leeds that realistically he shouldn't have played again, really, for Town. I would have ended his loan, but you know, I know he set up the goal for Danny Ward at Watford, so there that is the counter argument to that. But that just points back to the absolute basic level of recruitment that we've had at this football club for the last 5 years, really.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say, certainly from my perspective, I wasn't booing specific players. I was booing the performance. The effort level of the team was on the floor. We were dire. Millwall were dire. And I said it during the game. We were very lucky that day that Millwall weren't that much better than us, because if they were, we'd have lost that game.
And does that prove that Preston, how better Preston are as a side from last night?
Yeah, I mean,
Which is bad to say, isn't it? Like, it gets to the point where you think, surely Preston aren't that good compared to what we are, but they actually are. That's the scary thought.
Of course they are. I mean, at this point in the season, all you've got to do is look at the league table. This point in the season shows you the level of the teams in the league, and we are rightly where we are. It's not. This isn't some sort of fluke season where we've been absolutely horrific. It's not a one-off. This has been coming for some time. And frankly, we are lucky after last night that we are not further down than what we are.
The results from last night, Wednesday came back. I think Plymouth got a draw. I think Birmingham lost, did they? I think. So we're outside the relegation zone on goal difference, which is scary because our goal difference is horrendous, and it got worse by 3 goals last night.
Yeah.
And I'm worried, Cal. I am worried for the weekend because Bristol City, comparatively compared to Preston, are a better technical side, even if it's not showing in the table right now.
Yeah, and I look at the scoreline last night and I'm sort of on the fence between, does it look worse than it was, or was it really that bad? Based off previous games, you would say probably really that bad, but based off the first half, you would say on balance, we didn't play as bad as a 4-1 scoreline suggests.
Yeah.
But you don't get to lose 4-1 if you're not bad enough to lose 4-1.
No. After the game, the players, I think, I wasn't there, so I can't really comment to whether they came over and clapped any of the supporters for the fact that they went to watch that. Mr. Delano Bergzorg decided to have a couple of words with a number of fans at the end. We don't know the context of what was said to him, but I can imagine it was not very nice in terms of his performance. Let's hope it wasn't anything more. But he said audibly, you could hear the word that he said, respect, give us respect. And unfortunately, what this situation happens all the time at football clubs. But to me, fans pay the money. They've gone over to Preston on a Tuesday night. Can't say it was cold, but it was a Tuesday night through rush hour traffic. Some have driven over, some have gone on coaches and paid for coaches and paid for travel, paid petrol money, they've paid for the ticket, and they've sat there and watched one of the worst second half performances. And I can't say it because I didn't watch the game, I've only watched the highlights, but you speak to supporters that went and they said it was the worst second half performance they've seen in the last 10 years watching the football club. I mean, why that needs to be said, that respect needs to be shown, I'm not really sure. If supporters were saying to Delano that his performance was rubbish and that the team should be doing better, then yeah, they have a right to say that. If it was anything more, that needs to be looked into, and hopefully it wasn't. But sometimes as a player, I think, some supporters have said he had a right to have a go back, but he can't not say that the supporters cannot have an opinion on the performance that they've just watched. Cal, what was your thoughts behind the video that was shared over social media last night?
Obviously, like you, I don't know the full context behind what was said previous to the video starting, but I would hope that, certainly in my experience, if anyone has said anything totally out of line, normally that is stopped by fans in the area before the player even has to come over. If you said something totally out of line, I hope the club look into it and that it, like you say, gets dealt with.
Yeah.
But if it was a criticism of the performance or him as a footballer, what are you asking us to respect? Because treat the shirt and the club you play for with the same respect that you are demanding from the fans.
Yeah.
And that is not happening.
I always remember a quote. I can't remember which film it's from, but I always remember a quote from a sports film. And the coach always said that the badge and the name on the front was bigger than the name on the back. And that is completely true. This stays, the back name changes. And, support for us as fans, we can't change our football club. We can't say, we've had enough of sport in town now. We'll go support Bradford or we'll go support Cheltenham or whatever.
I wish I could, but it wouldn't be Bradford.
But that, but even that you're saying that you wish I could, you really don't mean that.
No, I don't.
It's in your blood. It's for life. We don't have the choice to go support somebody else now. This is it for the rest of our lives. And for him to come over and say that he wants respect, if it is comments to do with his performance, then mate, you've not done your job. If we were as rubbish at our jobs as what you have been at your job in the last 2 games, or you could comparatively say longer, you'd be sacked. You'd be fired.
I'd be sacked. I'd be out of my ear.
Yeah.
That'd be it. You know what I mean? And this is what I mean. If I have an awful day at work, I don't go up to my boss and just go, respect, mate, respect.
They'd be going, respect the door on the way out.
This is a little bit of, it seems like some of the players for Town seem to have detached themselves from the real world.
Do you think it means this is bad to say, and we're in a relegation scrap, and our presenter Zach Wood has said Huddersfield down, not town, which is quite funny. Zach doesn't like that. But this is going to be a bad comment to make, Cal, and you can tell me to go away if you think it's completely wrong. But do you think it means more to some in this squad than it does others?
Oh, yeah. But I think that's been the case for years. I don't think that's a new thing. And that can't even really be a criticism of some of the players, because a lot of the players have been brought in under this dubious transfer system that we've got, where, it appears we just sign whoever wants to.
Well, there's no plan.
No, there's no plan. And then they come in, and inevitably they come into an awful environment where you'll get to work under a system, under a manager, and then that changes.
Yeah.
And you've got to start again. So what is there to buy into for some of these players? Nothing. They're picking up a wage.
And I feel that that's the reason why some of them have run out of energy. I don't even think for some of them it's about caring, because I think a lot of them do care. I think it's just that they've run out of energy to believe in anything anymore that the club's trying to do. And that's why, whether we stay up or we go down, the whole squad needs to change. There's very not many players in this squad now that I will keep.
No, me neither. And I wouldn't.
And that's changes. And that changes for us as a football club and changes for them as players. I think some of them players need fresh environments at different football clubs.
Yeah, and that's
for them as humans, if anything else.
And that's a step change from what I would have said maybe even last year. I'd have thought we've got a good core group of players. We just need to add a little bit of quality and we'll be up there. We didn't add the quality, but now even the core group of players, you're looking at them thinking, God, must be awful to be here right now. And they're probably on the phone to their agents 3 times a day. So don't forget to put me up, tell people that I want to go. Because why would you want to? What is there at this football club currently that one would want to would grab people to stay at the football club, but also looking towards the summer, what is there to entice players to come into this football club?
Yeah. And, well, say if the worst happens to the worst and we go down, Cal, how would you sell the football club to any prospective player that we might try and sign?
Wipe it out. Clean slate, you just got to say, well, I almost don't like the phrase because I think it's overused in football, but we need a full rebuild.
Yeah.
I think the phrase rebuild is overused in football for a couple of signings and maybe a new manager. But we need a full clear out, top to bottom, boardroom down.
Yeah.
Start again. And if that means mid-table mediocrity in League One for a couple of years, fine.
Yeah. Arthur Busby says Huddersfield kicked down going down with Rotherham and Birmingham. At the moment, the relegation zone looks like this. Rotherham at bottom on 23 points. Birmingham second bottom on 42 points. Sheffield Wednesday third bottom in the relegation zone on 43 points. Then come Huddersfield Town, who are on 43 points, but with a better goal difference of 8. Plymouth are on 45 points in 20th. Stoke are in 19th on 46 points. And Blackburn are 18th on 46 points. The next...
We will be in the relegation zone if Blues get a result tonight.
If who get a result tonight?
Birmingham.
If Birmingham get a result tonight and they're at home to Cardiff City, we will go into the relegation zone, correct?
Right.
Birmingham's next game is at home to Coventry the weekend. Sheffield Wednesday next play Stoke City at home, so that's a big relegation decider maybe. Town are away at Bristol City, which we'll come on to in a moment. Blackburn are at home to Leicester City on Friday night. And Millwall are at home to Cardiff on Saturday. So really, Cal, you look at the fixtures there at the weekends, none of them are good, to be honest. The only one that might get a bit of a thrashing is Blackburn at Leicester, and they've just gone and drawn 0-0 with Southampton.
Yeah, this is what I mean. This is what I didn't want to happen because
Plymouth are at home, but Blackburn next play. Sorry, Blackburn go to Leeds. On Saturday, but the point still stands. Stands.
And this is exactly what we can't be doing now. We shouldn't have got ourselves in the position where we're having to have a look over our shoulder at what's happening here, what's happening there. You know what I mean? Because this is the Championship. 9 times out of 10, what you think should happen is not what happens. And I have lost many an accumulator bet because of that.
Yeah.
So we're in the position out of our own making. Whatever happens now, it happens. I spoke about it in the last episode we did. Total apathy on my part now to relegation. If anything, I just want it to be over with.
Well, you said that, didn't you, last night? You said in our WhatsApp group, just let it be finished. Just relegate us now and get on with trying to bounce back next season. But I'll come on to that in a minute. Bristol City, by the way, who were playing on Saturday, their last couple of games have been, let me just check, 0-0 to Sunderland. They beat Plymouth 1-0. They beat Leicester 1-0. They lost to West Brom 2-0 and beat Swansea 1-0. So very close games by all accounts. Don't let in hardly any goals. Don't score a lot, but very close games that they've seemingly had.
Yeah, very close games against decent teams.
Yeah.
So, you can guarantee them to get 5 against us.
Are you
Snacky
really
Wells, mate. Snacky Wells, I'm telling you, hat trick.
So are you going 5-1 to Bristol?
5-1? You think we're going to score a goal?
No, so all right. So you're going 5-0.
Yeah.
Is that your prediction?
Yes.
Right.
And I stand by it because if it's as bad as that, I'm allowed to be angry. If it's better than that, which it probably will be, I can be happy about it. Set your stall out early doors. Easy.
So 5-0 with a Snacky Wells hat trick.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Get your predictions in, town fans, if you agree with Callum. I can't see us getting anything either. I'll be honest. We were all really positive, weren't we, before Millwall? I mean, we all went for a win, but I just can't see us beating Bristol City. I think we'll lose 3-1. I think we have to get a point at least, Cal, out of the game. If not,
we have to win. We've got to the point now. How many games have we got left? What, 5?
No. So we've only got we've got Bristol away, we've got Swansea and Birmingham at home, and Ipswich away. And that's
4.
4 games, yeah.
We have to win all of those games.
Don't have to win all of them.
Especially Birmingham and Swansea. Especially Birmingham and Swansea. But because of the way that people are getting results around us, I wouldn't feel comfortable unless we were getting maximum points out of pretty much all those games, bar maybe Ipswich.
Yeah. But we aren't going to beat Bristol, are we?
No, it's going to be 5-0. Snacky Wells hat trick. I already told you.
And listen, we don't sit on here, do we? And we don't want to predict these losses, do we? Let's just say that now. For everybody watching or that's going to watch the video, we want to put that out straight there now. We want to be as positive as we can about this football club and the fixtures that are coming up. We want to sit here and definitely say we predict a town win, like we did against Millwall, but I think we also did with some trepidation. But at the moment, you just can't say that, can you? You can't have that attitude.
No, it's I'm a bit tongue-in-cheek saying 5-0, but I
No,
don't.
you're not. No, you're
I
not.
think we will get trounced. I honestly do.
The
You know,
tongue-in-cheek bit is the Naki Wells hat-trick, but I genuinely believe you think we're going to lose 5-0.
and on the evidence that we've seen recently, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, but it's Preston, mate. They're a lot better than Bristol. They're higher in the table by 4 places.
Oh, now's tongue in cheek. All right.
What was I going to say? Yeah, so it's looking bad anyway. So yeah, I think we're predicting a loss against Bristol. I just want to look at, and I know that we're not down yet, but let's look at the League One at the moment and the teams that are possibly going to be in there. Portsmouth look like they're going to win the league or be promoted at least. Derby County, they look like they're probably going to go up as second, maybe, but it's quite tight between them and Bolton. And then there were teams in the division. You've got Peterborough, Barnsley, Oxford, Lincoln, Blackpool, Stevenage, Leyton Orient, Northampton, Exeter, Wigan, Charlton, Wickham, and then it's all pretty dross, to be fair, down at the end of the bottom of the table. Well, it is, isn't it? It is. Bottom end of League One's horrendous. But, it's not going to be easy to get back out of that league, is it, Cal, if we go down?
Look at what's coming up from League Two. You got Stockport, Wrexham, and any one of MK Don's Crewe, Barrow, and Crawley. Wrexham especially, I think, will spend heavy.
Yeah.
So
Stockport will have a good go.
So they're another 2 big challenges. It's not going to be a walk in the park, and I wouldn't for a minute, if we do go down, expect us to walk the division and come straight back up again. Not at all.
I can't believe it's. When did we last play Stockport? 2009.
So not when we trounced them at their place.
We won 7-0, didn't we? But I think it was 2009-10. I mean, it's 15 years ago since we last played Stockport. It'll be a lovely reunion for them.
It's going to be lovely, but like we say, we
different grounds, Cal. Different. Well, I'm sick of going to Reading and not Reading anymore. But
God, we're still going to have to go to Rotherham. Oh,
it's not the worst ground in the world, to be fair.
It's not far off.
No, I've been to much worse, to be fair.
Happy memories of that Valentine's Day under Wagner when we.
Oh, Tommy Smith! I was telling somebody about that the other day. But there was 2 lads that sit behind me, and they were excited to go to Rotherham this season, because it was a new ground for them. I said, yeah, but you won't see the best day we've ever had at Rotherham when Tommy Smith scores a 94th minute winner. And the scenes, I moved about 4 seats. Talking of celebrations, by the way, magnificent celebrations in the cowshed. You've definitely been caught on camera with
definitely
having a hug with somebody there, being piled on by about 20 people.
Well, I looked right. I felt one come from behind me. And then about 6 people just saw that. I looked up and there were just 6 people like that. Okay. So
where do we want to end, Cal? Where do we want to end this magnificent podcast where we've been really positive? I don't really know where we go from here, because we'll be back Sunday, hopefully, when Zach is around. Are you free Sunday, Cal?
I believe I am.
You're about, yeah. So
I'm currently in the process of trying to sort out, as I said in the chat yesterday, trying to sort out moving house, and that's taking up all of my stress levels and time. Yeah. So that's really fun at the minute. But one thing that I would like to end on, if we can, and I don't know your position on it, but I am getting quite frustrated by the abundance of social media interaction by the chairman when we win, and radio silence when we are terrible.
I think he has at the moment. He has in the past done social media interaction when we've lost as well. I just want to put that fairly out there. But all I would say is that I don't know how much he can do or what he can say. I don't know. To me, it don't make much of a difference at the moment. I don't, if we lose, what's he going to say after
Yeah,
last night? We
this
were
is true.
crap. Every fan knows that we were crap. When we win, I agree. He's like, the video on the diary that he did, it was fantastic to see how happy he was with Carmichael Day. That was brilliant to see. But, the caveat that I'd put on it, Cal, is I don't really know how much I don't know how much he says warrants, like how much of a difference it makes. I don't, but obviously I can see you're frustrated by it.
And I'm sort of half frustrated because I see that there's an argument to say that if he came out and said something, you're pretty much pouring petrol on a bonfire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There is an argument to say that, but what's frustrating is at this point we are all searching for things to cling on to. A little bit of something from the chairman, a promise of investment or anything, just to get one little positive out of what has been majorly negative. And I'm not expecting that to come after Preston, but what is frustrating is to see the big video diaries, whatever he does, and they are great. But you need to be transparent. If you're going to do things like that, which not many other chairmen do, probably for this reason, is because you have to be consistent and pop your head above the parapet when things are getting pretty rough.
Yeah, I would say though that he has done that in the past when we've lost this season and got absolutely pillared for the things that he said for it. And I think that is unfair sometimes. I think the criticism of what he has said and how he said things has been majorly taken out of context and used against him. And I don't think that is right. What I do think though is that I agree with the consistent levels that you're asking for, and that it would be good to have some positives to cling on to as a fan base, particularly at this moment in time. And some ability to look forward for a longer message, whether we stay up or we go down. Now, I'm sure that will come when season tickets come out, and we've had that debate the other week. But as a fan that tries to add balance to every argument and looks at both sides of a coin, I get why he's not come out after Preston and said anything, because what difference does it make? But I also understand from a fan base, we haven't got anything positive to cling on to at the moment, and that needs to happen in the next week or so, because otherwise, I think by the time you get to the Swansea and the Birmingham game, things might go to fever pitch.
Yeah, we're definitely heading towards something. I don't know what that something is, but it feels like it's going to come just before our relegation or safety is confirmed. But
I mean, if we go down, big things have got to happen behind the scenes in terms of a massive shake-up. I think that has to happen anyway, whether we stay up or go down. But the difference people need to understand is that broadcast money comparatively is very different. We get £8 million from broadcast money here in the Championship. You get about 3.5 million in League One. Yeah. And that makes a huge difference to everything around the football club that he plans to do. So we just need to be. I think patience is a virtue, and they always say patience can win football matches. The trouble is for us as supporters, we don't have patience because we can't change the result on the pitch because we're not playing. And we can't, we can only invest our feelings towards the players. Going back to the Bergzorg situation, we can only invest what we feel about the performance from a sitting down or standing point of watching the games.
Yeah.
And that means that people have different opinions, and unfortunately, that causes debate, argument, stress, and frustration.
Yeah, and he's in the country. We don't know how long he's going to be in the country for. but I gather that the local media have put in requests to try and do a sit-down interview with him again to sort of check in where we are. So,
I mean, that would be good, Cal. If you did that, if you did the BBC Radio Leeds interview that they have supposedly put in for, that will be good. I think that will be a Dean Hoyle was always very good at asking for or giving the fans a little bit of something at times of trouble. Whether it was a pie and pea night at Canalside, where pints were half price, and 100 fans would go there, have a sit down, and could have a natter with Dean, and then normally after it was like one of them straight like a kettle boiling up. It'd boil up. Dean would explain everything, and then everybody would be like, all right, I get that. Or he'd go on Radio Leeds and do the same thing. And I think these diaries are great, but they don't give the supporter that likes to ask questions the ability to interact in that sense, and put the powers that be on the spot at that moment. So I'd like him to go on Radio Leeds, and obviously he's more than welcome to come on our podcast as well. Like again, I do have to say, from the West Yorkshire show point of view, we've always really respected the fact that the club have made him available to speak to us, and me, particularly. So we can't say he's not done interviews with not just Radio Leeds, but with other outlets too. So he has been approachable in that sense. And I think the caveat that I would say to some of our supporters is, think about how you interact with people, because we could end up in a situation like Sheffield Wednesday or Southend, where they don't get anything from their support, their ownership model.
No, and that's totally fair enough. That point there, I think, is the key. And I think a little bit of something thrown towards the fans, be that just a little update on Radio Leeds or whatever, would go a long way. And like you see today, the club have announced that they're putting on free travel to Bristol City. That's
amazing. That has to be applauded.
Yeah, and
as crap as what the performance was last night, and that is, in my opinion, fans are allowed to debate that and should debate it, but you have to also applaud the club for putting that on. That is a good gesture. That
it is, and I don't know where that's come from, whether it's come from the man himself or someone a bit lower down in the club, but wherever that has come from, that is an undeniable positive that will help if it doesn't help the team, it will help the fans at least. It's just something, a little bit of positivity to come after, especially after last night, where there were a lot of vitriol on social media, and actually, to be fair, quite a lot of it coming from me. But it's just something positive, and I think it probably will fly under the radar a little bit because of the atmosphere at the club at the minute, but something worth pointing out, that at least the club have thrown the supporters a bone a little bit and just gone, there you go. At least we're trying to do something.
Because I've done that trip, Cal. I've done that trip.
I have also done that
trip. We've paid our 25, 30 quid bus ticket down there, and or it's more on a train, obviously, but we've paid the coach travel down there, we've paid his match fee, and it's like 70, 80 quid, 90 quid for the whole day. 7 hours down there, 7 hours back. It's an horrendous journey. And I did it when we lost 4-1 and we were losing 3-0 in the first half.
I was there as well, but we did that one on the train.
Yeah. It wasn't the one where Hoggy snapped his neck. It was the one before that.
It was the one before that, and that compounded a pretty terrible day because you realise that you paid so much money for the train.
Yeah, but, I can imagine.
I've only been once after that, and that was when we lost in the FA Cup. We lost there in the FA Cup in the Prem years, and I got shouted at by somebody for booing them off. I've got form. At least I'm consistent.
You are consistent. Well, I think that's a good place to end. Callum, just refresh our memory. You're going for 5-0 then?
5-0 Bristol City. 5-0.
Okay, get your bets on. I'm sure that'll be a fantastic odds breaker, will that? I'm going 3-1 to Bristol City. We've ended on a smile. We started on a smile and we have ended on a smile somehow in this absolute world of crapness that we're in at the moment. But thanks everybody for watching. Very much appreciated. Thanks for all your comments that you've got in. Cheers for the people that have liked the video. Please do give it a share on social media. And we will see you hopefully on a bright and sunny Sunday where we'll be able to go, you know what, life's not too bad. And the fact that Huddersfield Town have got another victory to championship safety. But for now, enjoy your Wednesday evening and we'll see you very, very soon. Thanks again.